Hey kids, this is the first story in the Bible, and it tells us how God created the earth that we live on and this great universe and everything that is in it. In the beginning, when time began, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth at first was formless and empty, and it was dark over the surface of the deep. But God's Spirit was hovering over the surface of the waters. Now then God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw that the light was good. And God separated the light from the darkness, and he called the light day, and the darkness he called night. So evening came, and then morning came, and that was the first day of creation. Then God said, "Let there be an expanse in the middle of the waters, and let the space separate the waters from the waters." So God made the expanse and separated the waters under the space from the waters above it. And it was so, as God said. And God called the expanse sky. Evening came, then morning came, and there was a second day. Now God spoke again and said, "Let the waters that are under the sky be gathered into one place, and let the dry ground appear." And it happened, and God called the dry ground land, and the water he called seas. And God saw that it was good, and God said, "Let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants, and fruit trees bearing fruit with seed in it, according to their kinds." And it was so. And the earth produced vegetation, seed-bearing plants according to their kinds, and trees bearing fruit with seed in it, according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. So evening came and morning came, and it was a third day. Now God said, "Let there be lights in the expanse of the sky to separate the day from the night. They will be for signs, and for seasons, and for days and years, and they will be for lights in the expanse of the sky to give light on the earth." And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He also made the stars. And God set them in the expanse of the sky to give light to the earth, and to rule over the day and the night, and to separate the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. So evening came, and then morning came, and it was the fourth day of creation. Next God said, "Let the waters swarm with living creatures, and let birds fly in the open sky." So God created the large sea creatures, every kind of fish, and every kind of bird. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and multiply, and let the fish fill the seas, and let the birds multiply on the earth." And evening came, and then morning came, and it was the fifth day. Now God said, "Let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds, livestock, creeping things, and wild animals, each according to its kind." And it was so. And God made the wild animals according to their kind, the livestock according to their kind, and everything that creeps on the ground according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. Now when God first created the heavens and the earth, there were no plants or grain growing on the earth yet, because the Lord God had not sent any rain, and there was no one to till the soil. But water would come up from the earth and water the whole surface of the ground. Now God said, "Let us make man in our own image, according to our likeness, and they will rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the sky, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creature that moves along the ground." Then the Lord God formed a man from the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. So God created man in his own image. He created him in the image of God. And the Lord God planted a garden in Eden in the east, and there he put the man whom he had formed. The Lord God caused to grow out of the ground every tree that is pleasing in appearance and good for food, including the tree of life in the middle of the garden and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And a river watering the garden flowed from Eden, and there it was separated into 4 rivers. The name of the first is Pishon, which flows around the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. The name of the second river is Gihon, which flows through the whole land of Cush. The name of the third river is the Tigris, which flows along the east side of Assyria, and the fourth river is the Euphrates. Now the Lord commanded the man, saying, You are free to eat the fruit from every tree in the garden, but you must not eat the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. For on the day that you eat from it, you will certainly die. Then the Lord God said, It is not good for man to be alone. I will make a helper who is like him. So the Lord God formed out of the ground every wild animal and every bird of the sky, and he brought them to man to see what he would call them. And whatever the man called each living creature, that was its name. So the man gave names to all the livestock, birds, and wild animals. But for Adam no helper was found who was like him. So the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep. And while he was sleeping, God took one of the man's ribs and closed up the place from which he had taken it. Then the Lord God made the rib that he had taken from the man into a woman, and brought her to the man. And the man said, At last, this one is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. So this explains why a man leaves his father and mother and is joined to his wife, and the two are united into one flesh. Now the man and his wife were naked, yet they felt no shame. So God created them, male and female, and God blessed them and said to them, Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, and over every living thing that moves on the ground. And God said, Look, I have given you every seed-bearing plant on the surface of the whole earth, and every tree which produces fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. And to all the animals of the earth, and to every bird of the sky, and to everything that creeps on the earth, everything that has the breath of life in it, I have given every green plant for food. And it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and it was very good. So once again evening came, then morning came, and it was the 6th day. So God's creation of the heavens and the earth and everything in them was completed. And by the 7th day God completed the work that he had done, and he rested on the 7th day. And God blessed the 7th day and made it holy, because on it he rested from all his work of creation. Well, kids, God really did create the universe just as he said. He did, and today we can see the beauty and the greatness of his creation and trust in him with all our hearts.